Okay. And I'll see you guys in about 10.
Thank you.
A quick disclosure before we call the meeting to order. Pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2020, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency and the June 30, 2027 extension granted by Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. This meeting for the town of Bridgewater will be fully remote and accessible to the public through remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance is permitted. Citizens who wish to tune into the meeting may do so via Zoom. Okay, calling meeting to order at 6:41. My apologies for starting it late because of technical problems. Okay, chair's announcements. I just have a few quick ones. I want to thank everybody that's on here. I haven't looked to see if we have any guests yet, but at least to the CP.
We have one guest, but go ahead.
Okay. Thanks to our guests and the CPC members who all were patient while I figured out how to get on. We have good news, and we can talk more about it in the financial report, but the town has received $167,437 as our state match, which is $32,437 more than what we budgeted. And as you know, we budget conservatively. This represents roughly 16% match. And I haven't said this in a while in announcements, but I just encourage all members or guests to subscribe to the CPA Coalition newsletter. It's always filled with lots of information. Okay, next public comment.
Janet Hanson, Pleasant Street. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I don't have anything really specific. I'm mainly tuning in to see about your project updates. That's number C or letter C. So that's what I'm here to listen to, primarily to find out about your project updates. That's it.
I'll just, Gina, I don't know. Gina, are you there or is your computer acting up? Well, the technical stuff keeps going. Gina, do you have any other announcements? She's going to sign back in. Hang on, folks.
This is Janet again. I was able to get on by going to the agendas and clicking on the, download the agenda PF packet. And I got on no problem. It was a delay. I had to go in and out because it didn't seem like anybody was letting me in, but that's how I got on.
Yeah, my apologies. We were, because of Gina's was struggling to get in. I'm getting a message. Okay, just hang on. I got to mute for while I read this thing. Hi. I don't know how to unlock you. I'll let Josh know, okay?
Okay.
Josh, can you hear me? No, he's not there. Uh, she's been locked out, so I don't know quite how to get her in.
I can hear her through your phone.
Well, if you want to talk through my phone, you can.
Okay. Do we have the phone I can call to?
You're on my phone.
Okay, but there's a phone number I can call to get right into the Zoom too. But I don't know what that is. Josh usually posts it every day. But I can talk through you until Josh gets back.
Okay, so did you have any other announcements?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, so I'll move us on to minutes. I can do that.
Did Janet have a comment?
No, Janice had finished her comments. Thank you.
Okay, but you made note of what her comment was.
Yeah.
Okay, you can move on to minutes.
So the next thing we have is approval of minutes. And for August 27th, 2025. I'm assuming everybody's read it. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
The motion is made and approved. Any discussion?
Do you
Here,
have a second?
yes, we did. All those, I will call a roll. I'm just going to go by who's on the screen here. David,
Approve.
Maureen,
Approved.
Pat,
Pat
Harry?
Twilliger.
yeah, Harry,
Approved.
Bill,
Yes.
I'm a yes. And Gina, are you a yes?
Yes.
And Pat, you're muted. All right, well, so far we're, I have to count the number of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The motion passes unanimously. September 24th, motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Harry. Second.
Second.
Maureen, thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Bill,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Bill, David,
Yes.
and Gina is a yes also. Pat, are you still on? I think he's away from his screen. So that September 24th minutes pass with all voting. October 22nd, 2025, motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Harry, thank you. Second.
And I seconded, I wasn't there.
Anybody else can second it?
Second.
Thank you, Bill. So motion is there. I don't know if everybody's assuming had a chance to read it. So motion, discussion points, any changes? Hearing none, vote for approval. David?
Approve.
Yes. Maureen?
I was not present.
Abstain. Harry?
Yes.
Thank you. Bill?
Yes.
I'm a yes. And Gina?
Yes.
She's a yes.
But, when it was during the discussion, that what Josh has to do was add the links on each set of minutes of the recordings.
Okay.
Usually puts it at the top.
Okay. And Pat, are you still away from your web? Okay. So everybody voted yes on this. That was available. Pat was not available to vote, even though. So we're going to move on. The financial report. Gina, are you still? You're totally logged. Let me ask if.
I am trying to get onto my phone too as we're doing this.
Okay.
One thing that I would like to note for Ashley in the finance department, the report we have as of November 30th doesn't include the interest or Josh's November hours. And also the Edson book still shows a balance that we voted to turn back. But I have to, when I write to finance, I have to include the minutes that we took the vote. And we just approved those tonight. So I will write to Laurie next month.
Okay.
Back, I think it was $180 for the report.
Okay, I'm going to ask the attendees if you could hear what Gina said, because I'm struggling also. So Gina indicated in the minutes, the finance report, you've already talked about how we've gotten the actual state match and it exceeds what we had budgeted. The couple of other things in the expenses side, let's see, this is December, not November. The November hours that we pay Josh for are not in this. Neither are the interest paid. So we have interest paid money that should be showing up in the next meeting. Beyond that, everything seems fine. We've got one account. The book has been closed. There's a slight underrun on that one, so that money will be moved back to the appropriate account by the next meeting. And just very quickly looking at the balances sheet that we have, we've got about $1,033,682 of appropriated funds, and we have about 3.3 million available for various projects based on what's going on. I'm assuming everybody has read the finance report. Are there any questions? Okay, take a look at that. We're going to get you updates the next time we meet in January for this. So I'm looking at the agenda, moving on. We have received an application that we're not taking up tonight. The Town River Landing Fire for Effect submitted a large set of documents, including a revised eligibility form and a formal application for purchase and installation of lights down at the Town River Landing. Because Al did a great job of providing all sorts of information and all sorts of documents. It was a large submission to us, and we got it on Saturday, and I think Josh got it on Monday. So we're on that particular one. I think we're going to hold off on the discussion on it. There's still some questions to be raised and answered for that, and I think Gina and I and whoever else wants to, we'll have to go talk a bit with the town manager on that particular one. But that.
Okay. Thank you, Dalton. Good for that. Good comments on it. What I would like to add is we had questions on the eligibility form, boxes, checks, and things. I agree we should meet with the town manager for his questions, but I think too, if you or I sat with for Effects Al Lacerda, just to direct him for the best way. He did a spectacular job of documenting everything, but just how to have him proceed and to answer some of our questions where he's checked off boxes that we're not sure.
Okay. I don't know if you could hear Gina, but the eligibility form, there were some of the boxes that only the CPC fills out, checked, and I think open space and recreation are checked on it, and this is a recreation application, so we need to get that clarified and filled out again, and we'll work with Al to get that form back. We'll get the rest of the information will be sent out to you guys, but it is a large package and will take some time to read it. Actually, our application, as you have heard from us before, is a bit of a problem because when you fill in the box, it doesn't show everything. It only shows about 50 keystrokes. So Josh did a wonderful job of going in, copying everything that was in there, putting it into a separate document that this afternoon. It's 10 pages long, single spaced. So that's one other reason we weren't going to deal with it tonight. But I want to thank Josh for doing that, and we'll get that out to you all to read over the next actually 5 or 6 weeks. So that's where that one's at.
Great, thank you.
All right. Gina, I don't, are you still trying to get in? Are you still?
I am an host and I have a data issue.
Okay, you're still struggling with computer issues.
I am.
Okay, and I don't know if Josh is back on.
No,
Okay.
not yet.
What's that, Harry?
He's not on yet.
Thank you. I just want for the public record to know that Gina Gasconi is on my phone and speaking to me because she's had some problems getting into the webpage. But I want the public to know that I'm conveying what she says as best I can.
Thank you.
So the eligibility forms, FB, the next thing, there's not been an update on the storage building yet. We're still waiting for that form to be returned. And also the Cedar Street Community Center, I think that request is going to take a while longer to move forward. I've gotten some information that there's some things to be worked out with the owners of the property and the community center operators. So that's just a pending thing, and I'm not sure if we'll keep it on the agenda going forward, but that's just a quick FYI. Okay, the project updates that I can do. The First Parish Church, Gina sent the church the grant agreement today for their signature. So that's all in progress, and Bill, I don't know, Bill, if you received that grant, but have you got any updates on it?
Yes, they've restored 4 windows completely. They did not have to purchase any period 19th century glass. They were able to use all of the glass in the existing windows. They did the flashing. They did complete restoration. They have 4 more windows to restore, but they're going to wait until the spring when the weather is better to do the last 4. But they're very pleased so far with the restoration of the 4 windows on the School Street side.
Great, good to hear. Anything else on the First Church windows replacement? Hearing none, move on to the Hanson Farm. Very quick update from me. I spoke with Wildlands Trust about what has to happen to get the trail up and running. And Wildlands Trust sent me information that I provided to Bob Hanson with respect to what the next steps are. And the next steps include a trail layout, not beyond conceptual, a bit more detailed layout, any bridges crossing water, that kind of stuff. And once that's submitted to Wildlands Trust, they will look at it, approve it underneath the CR. And then once Wildlands Trust approves it, it goes up to the town for approval. If the town looks at it and approves the plan, it goes to the Hansons for implementation. I'm still working on any questions on that? Okay. I'm still working on getting, and I have gotten information about, and I talked with Mr. Hanson about it. I have gotten information on what the distance to cross that very wet area. It's basically a pond type thing, but it's really just a ditch. And the plan is to put a bridge across that. So I've talked with the surveyor. I've gotten the distance, that kind of thing. So we need to move that forward in order to cover any cost of bridge materials. We have to figure out, and the Hansons have to figure out how they want to have that built, that structure built. I will point out that I do this path will not likely be accessible because we didn't really talk about that in the past. So it may have limitations for accessibility and that kind of thing. And people may be able to get down on the farm a little way on the path, but in the forested area, I think that's going to be more challenging. So that's something that we need to talk a bit more about, and the plan should reflect that kind of thing. So, oh, and the other thing is Josh has agreed to oversee or coordinate an event in the spring before spring plowing and planting get in place, to have probably in the late March, early April timeframe, what I'm calling, quote unquote, a dedication ceremony. Josh has been asked to put that together and working with the committee here. If anybody wants to step up and help with that, I would greatly appreciate it. We would.
Great, thank you.
Okay,
Get Janet Hanson, Pleasant Street.
sure.
This is a typo type thing. I'm just correcting. It's not Hanson's farm. It's Hanson Farm. You know, everybody always puts an S, but it's not Hanson's. It's Hanson Farm. It's a typo.
Oh, thank you. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Gina, thanks you also. The only other thing I'll say, I'm using it as a possessive, Hanson's, S farm. But
Yeah, I just, but I have seen it written where people always seems to put an S Hanson's because they think in plural, but it technically is Hanson Farm Incorporated. It's not, it's the Hansons who own the Hanson Farm.
okay,
So, all right.
we'll take that forward. Josh is back. Hey, Josh, Gina got kicked
Yes.
off. She's blocked. Can you get her back in?
She got blocked?
Yeah, that's what
Oh
she
my
said.
goodness.
She said I did. I
Um,
didn't touch anything.
Huh. I wonder if it's because she had two, because she was in here twice.
Oh,
Um, oh boy. All right, I'm gonna have to go into my settings and see if it's something I can unblock. I don't know why she would have got blocked, but let me go in there and figure it out.
he's working on it. Okay.
Okay, and I'm working on installing this onto my new laptop.
Okay. Gina says she's going to work on her end to do what she can. I'm going to skip the Styles and Hart improvements piece until we can get Gina back on, because she's got more information than I have on that. I do want to report the Hemlock Drive window replacement project is getting close to being completed. I got notified yesterday that the contractor is working on doing the interior work. I forget what you call it, but anyway, they're putting around the windows. They're getting that all done, and they had several of them done. I got the schedule, so I anticipate that we should see a closed a memo saying the final invoice, that kind of thing, within the next 5 weeks, possibly for the next meeting. So that project is thankfully going forward. As I said, I'm going to hold off on the Styles and Hart. There's not a lot to update, folks, on that particular one, and because we haven't had really any input from the town as to where we're going, and we're not sure exactly what the next steps are, even though we put together a 10 task item to get done. Any questions, please? The Parthenon friezes, they're up. I hope everybody's been in to see them.
They look great.
And so they're installed. I can send out a panoramic of the entry area if people can't get down to see it. We need to start writing the final report, but there were a number of change orders and issues unanticipated that came in during the last several days before installation. As a result, there is an overrun on the project that we need to consider going forward, and there's a couple of ways to handle it. The best way to handle it is we've got the quotes in place, but the best way to do it is have the town manager submit an amendment for that cost overrun. It's something a little bit over $3,300. And then we would consider that. We would put a vote forward to send it to the town council in order to get appropriate the additional funds. So that's a work in progress. There's an option that I personally don't want to go down, and that would be using some town monies that are available for this kind of thing. But I think the CPC accounts should cover the whole project. And I think, Gina, you occur, correct?
I do. You may have said this as I was trying to look something. It looks like with the bills that were paid, as you know.
No, I'm not gonna get into the details of that. I think I think the bills can get paid, but we have to recommend, and the town council has to appropriate the money. The other thing that's happening is we want to put for lack of a better word, a plaque or something on the wall that describes the history of the pieces of art, which we've written, and I've sent to Bridgewater Trophy for a net cost estimate to have some type of board on the wall that's to the left of the treasurer's office that describes all of those pieces of art. There's 6 up there, but 2 of them are combined, and the history. We were able to find the history of those pieces from Caproni, and that we want to document that, and we want to provide a little bit more information up there as to where they came from. Talking with Caproni and having them send me things, again, these may be very rare. Like we may be the only ones with certain of those pieces of artwork. Because they indicated in one of their write-ups on a piece that they got permission to go to all the museums in Europe to make these frieze cast, whatever you call the basic pieces. They went overseas and did that, and then they brought those back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The original pieces that they cast the artwork from are still available, and that's why we could get them to restore those pieces. That's an amazing story, and it's amazing that those artworks, I'm calling them artworks for a reason. Only 2 of the pieces of art are from the Parthenon frieze. There's another set that's from an earlier period that was up on a church somewhere in Europe. And then the last one, the children, is another one that was done in another location. So rather than say Parthenon frieze for everything, the write-up talks about the pieces of art. But it's pretty darn amazing what they are. If you have not been to the Academy building, please go take a look at what is there. I think it adds a huge ambiance to the Academy building. It just makes the entrance look much better. Josh is back online. Have you had any luck with Gina?
So I found where I have blocked users. I have no blocked users. So I don't know why it's saying she's blocked.
Okay.
There's nothing on my end that I can fix. I looked it up, and if I blocked her, then I could remove her from my block list, but it's not showing as blocked.
Okay, well, she's hearing you, and for the public, she's still online and hearing our discussions here, okay? And I'm trying to convey everything I can as best I can while I hold my iPhone up to my speakers. Oh no, my microphone. Sorry, this is collusion.
I mean, she could try again if she'd like in a few minutes, and maybe it'll work then. But I'll keep an eye out on it.
Yep, I'm trying to
She keeps trying.
download it. I usually use my iPad, and I'm using so it's not downloaded. It's not downloaded on my new laptop.
Okay, so Gina just got a new laptop, and she's still working it in on this.
Gina, I'll send Gina the dial-in number if she wants to try logging in on her phone.
That's Josh. That would be great.
Okay,
Says great.
I'll email it to her.
All right. So hopefully we'll see her come in shortly. Because we're waiting for one thing to go back to for a report, and that's the Stiles and Hart project. The townhouse interior historical assessment, we still haven't moved that forward. We need to get the town manager to put that out to bid. So that's going on. There is some, I've been involved with one of the town councilors is trying to get some grant money to do a mechanical electrical assessment of the building. And I'm not sure where that's at. I'm not going to get into it much further than that. If that grant goes forward, then hopefully we can get we would get additional funds to get information for a historic restoration of that. Pat, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, can you give us a quick, I don't know where you're at with the multifunction fields. Do you have any input on that?
No, I know the 25,000 was approved by the council, and I think you and Gina saw that Mark Thomas, Gina reached out to me and asked me to connect the school with him so he could start to plan on what happens once the engineering people need to access the site and stuff. So I think he wanted to get it in connection with the AD, the superintendent, and the facilities director. So Gina, I kept you and Carlton in the loop, and I put you on that email as well. I put some emails back and forth. So I mean, that's really where it is now. I think it's probably pending bid process. You got
Well, here's a step. I think, Gina, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you sent in the award letter to the town manager for signature, correct?
Correct, but he's not gonna sign it until he talks to Jim Small, who's out on his mother-in-law.
Okay, so the next step is for the town to sign the award letter because this is a town project. That lays out what the steps are. I'm going to let Gina in. Gina, you should be in shortly. I clicked the button.
Let's see.
And there she is.
And there she is. All right.
Now you're
I'm going to
muted.
get off the phone with you, okay?
Okay, thank you
There
so
you are.
much. Okay, bye-bye.
You did it, Gina.
I had to, I don't know why the iPad or the iPhone weren't doing anything, but I quick downloaded the Zoom on my new laptop. Okay,
Well,
here I am.
You're there. So to go back to the multifunction field, as I was indicating, Gina sent in the award letter. Town manager does not want to sign it until he talks with the superintendent of Parks and Rec, and he will not be able to talk with him until Jim Smalley is returned from leave. So once that gets done, that's when the thing going out to bid and all that kind of thing will start.
Yeah, Carlton, I can just chime in on that.
Please
We're
do.
going to be talking to Jim next Wednesday
Oh, good.
for the procurement.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm really appreciative of what Pat's doing because he's bringing the whole group that's engaged in that forward. But
well, I mean, Mark Thomas gets credit for that. He knew I had the emails for everybody, so he asked if I'd connect everybody. So that he's trying to get ahead of it so that he knows who he needs to have involved to work with the town. So I just want to let you know he's been doing the work. He reached out to me, and I just drafted that email to connect everybody.
great. Thanks, Pat. Gina, did you send Pat the award letter?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the award letter. And since you're the liaison, yeah, and have agreed to pick up the weight of overseeing the project, that's fantastic.
Great. I copied, when I sent to Justin, I copied you, Carlton, Josh, Mark Thomas, and Pat.
So it's moving forward. That's great. Gina, I'm going to go back to project updates. Can you give us I'm not going to call it the elevator summary, but can you give us a brief summary of where we are with the Stiles and Hart improvements?
Basically, nothing's changed. We haven't heard. I believe there was a meeting. Josh, you can fill me in on this, fill us in, between Justin Baruli and Azu, maybe, to talk about it. Can you kind of fill us in on that meeting?
That there was a meeting.
Right, or it was being scheduled, was it held yet?
I don't think so. I haven't been in a
Okay.
meeting yet. And Justin's good about keeping me in there so that I can relay the information to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Zoo has been out for a little while because I think he was sick. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it might have got postponed then. So I'll keep you guys updated as soon as I get info on it.
Okay, great. We also asked Josh to follow up. I had written to Greg Tansey, the town, not the
Engineer.
town planner, the town, I always
Engineer.
mix up his position.
The engineer,
But what is it?
town
Engineer.
engineer.
Engineer. Okay, I have to put that into my head. About, I had written to him quite a while ago about survey at the southern entrance of Stiles and Hart, because that piece of landlocked property is still an issue. Plus, we just need to know exactly where the town property ends and the private property begins, not just at landlocked, but at the end of Brick Kiln Road. We asked Josh to follow up, and he did. He followed up with Greg, who wrote back to us and said surveying had been done many, many years ago. He suggested if we do have it surveyed, to have a private company, just because chances are whatever we have surveyed maybe our results may be questioned by the property owner. And if it's done by an outside surveyor, it hopefully wouldn't be questioned as much as, say, for the town, it's a one-sided thing. So it's something we have to look at. They couldn't pinpoint a price for the surveying, but there is plenty of money in the Stiles and Hart account still left. And again, there's still a lot of work to do that we need to find out how to proceed with finishing. But it's our thought that we should have it surveyed. So he's saying Carlton had actually mapped out much better than I could actually coordinates of surveying. And one of the problems with the surveying per Greg is there's no marker right there to base the surveying on. Carlton question Broad Street. I know I'm off of Broad Street, right in that area. We had our land surveyed a number of years ago, and it was the same issue. And I think Silva Engineering actually had to go out to Broad Street and search around to find some type of marker or coordinator. So in a nutshell, the surveying's an issue, as well as the punch list to get the project up and running again.
Gina, do you think we should make a motion, have a motion at this point to engage an independent surveyor to, or not?
I would think that would be good. So, you know, I've been pushing to have it surveyed for God knows how long.
Well, then I would move to have the town manager procure an independent surveyor to define the northern boundary and the landlocked northern boundary so we can move forward on the accessible path installation. It's a lot of words, but
Carlton, is it the northern boundary or the southern boundary?
Southern,
it's the northern boundary of the Stiles and Hart at that
southern entrance.
it's at the southern entrance, but it's the northern.
It's the lot line closest to Roach Brothers, correct?
No, absolutely not.
It's at, right,
It's up by the river, Pat. It's up by the river. It's where the sewer easement is.
right,
there's a
Pat,
good-
it's almost, it's that entrance where the easement is closest to Roach Brothers behind, well, not behind McDonald's, and Rockland Trust, that end. If you go in, it follows private property, then you come to a big field, and we don't know how much is owned by the property owner on Brick Hill Road, who also is the owner of that landlocked piece of property. So it just looks like a big field, but we don't know where the town land ends and where the private property begins. If that makes sense.
Right, and to add more to that, the landlocked piece has a sewer easement on it. The owner of that property will not allow a accessible path to go across that. I'll get right to you, David, in a minute. And so in order to redraw the path, we need to know where the boundaries are for that landlocked piece, and we need to know where the Stiles and town property are against that private ownership places. So we need that area surveyed. David, you had your hand up.
Yeah, has anybody looked at the sewer easement plans?
They told us in the email we received back, he said they had done a deep dive into that and they couldn't find anything. That's pretty disconcerting to me that something's in there with not good documentation.
Those plans were in my office. But when the office was moved, all of those plans evidently got lost. But they were there.
Or they're stuffed in the townhouse somewhere. That because there's a whole lot of plans. There were a whole lot of plans over there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say other than I think the motion I made is Pat, thank you for clarifying. I didn't hear a second, but that's what I'd like us to move to.
I'll second that.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Discussion on it?
Yeah, will this be like a meets and bounds survey, or will it be different kinds of survey?
I don't know what the difference is of meets and bounds, but yeah, we want to know where the line lays and where they change direction and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I know a meets and bounds survey is more expensive, but it's also more definitive.
Well,
Okay.
if we're
Well,
going
we
to
can investigate that.
if we're going to do a private survey, I would accept a friendly amendment to have a meets and bounds survey.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Sorry, what's in bounds?
Carlton, are we putting a not to exceed on this?
We haven't talked about that yet, Pat. Meets and bounds, meets, like where the boundaries meet.
Okay.
Meets, bound. So you're designing it with affirmative information, who owns what.
Okay. So a meets and bound to procure a meets and bound survey.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Carlton motioned, Bill seconded, but Bill also had, Bill, you're making Carlton's adding that into your motion?
Yes, I'll
Yes.
second
Meets
that.
and bounds.
And it's a friendly amendment that I accept.
Okay.
Pat raised a great question. Do we need a not to exceed? That's a bit of a challenge, Pat, because we have about $700,000 left in that project to do a lot of other things. So I think getting clarity on who owns what down there could avoid
All right,
issues.
good. Yeah, so it's gonna come out of money already allocated to that account.
Yes, but I didn't
Yes.
add it. I'll add friendly amendment. I'll add that to be paid for out of the count number that is already in place for Styles and Hart.
Okay. And I'd like to say what that is, if I can access anything. I can at least access that. Hold on. I guess I can't access that because it's on my iPad. But I'll fill in the account number into the
Oh.
motion. Right, well, probably anything between 10,000 and 50,000 needs to have written quotes. So the town manager's office would have to procure it. And we could ask the town engineer for suggestions for,
Well, I think the
Survey.
town probably has already a list of surveyors that they access because that happens a lot. Josh, can you just, when you get this, just figure out with the town manager what the best steps forward are?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely I'll loop in Greg and Justin and just we'll have a discussion on it, just like what we're doing with Jen and figure out the
And we may need,
procurement.
to define a little bit more specificity of exactly what we're looking for, but the
Okay,
motion is
yeah.
sufficient to do that.
okay, and usually, or I guess no, we wouldn't have to. I guess I would. Usually if we take a vote on something, I write to the town manager on it to inform him. Maybe I can just send that we took a vote for the survey and Josh is in the loop and we'll get more information for us. Does that sound right?
As long as we take a vote tonight.
Right, right. Further discussion? Okay, hearing done. Josh, a vote?
Gina,
Yes.
Carlton,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, one thing to note on that, in the correspondence yesterday from the town engineer, and Carlton, correct me if I'm wrong on this, kind of goes with David's question about the sewer easement. That didn't he say in the plans for the sewer easement, it doesn't show that landlocked piece of property?
I don't think that's what he said because on the GIS website page at the town, it's shown as independent. There's a card on it, that kind of thing. So I think it's
Okay.
clear. It's there. It's just that I think the documentation, as David said, probably is buried somewhere or lost in the townhouse.
Mhm. Okay, good, thank you. And we will continue to work on getting the rest of the project done. I have an email started to the town manager just asking where we stand. We did find out who closed the project, but we don't know why.
Who closed the project? Who closed it?
When we told the former town manager, acting town manager.
I haven't heard any official on it. That's why I'm
Oh.
asking.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
we still have to figure that out. That's all.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So we
Ignore
still
that.
don't know who closed the project and I'm not going to get into it here, but there's potential risks going forward underneath the MBTA zoning issue that the town council has to deal with next week.
So wait a minute. So what do you mean by close the project?
The project was closed. I shouldn't say the project, the bid was closed.
Wasn't there a contract to do the whole project?
Right, But at some point,
how
yeah,
how do you cancel a funded project halfway through a project?
the project itself wasn't canceled, our contract was. It was ended,
It was ended with the contractor?
yes.
Did the contractor ask to not do it anymore?
We don't know.
Don't know, Pat. Your guess is as good as mine on it.
It's on our it's on the town manager's priority list to get looked into.
Good. Thank you,
But,
Josh.
but I guess my question though, the biggest concern I have is there's a $400,000 reimbursable grant for this project.
Yep.
Have we expended enough to get that 400,000?
We have expended enough to get 3/4 of it.
Have we applied for that to get that?
Yep. As far as I know, they're working on it. I believe it's held up as part of this MBTA thing. That's my belief, and I don't have that word, but I know the town accountant, the town finance director has worked on it, and the state has not necessarily come back. So we have asked repeatedly for what's the status. That's part of the task list. List in the task, and we don't have good information yet.
I mean, we've been asking for 4 months. How hard is it to get this information?
Yeah,
Apparently very hard.
it is. I just have way too many emails, and I was deleting a whole bunch, and I was actually looking for a specific one. And I came across, it was just about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, when I had questioned the finance director about the grant and the reimbursement. And at that time, over a year ago, she said that they had put in for it, it should be received soon, and it would reflect in our budget. I have not seen anything come back in our budget, at least that I can document from it. It may be there and I just don't realize it's there, but I'm sure she would tell us when it was deposited.
What is the so-called MBTA thing? Is this some project that falls under the MBTA zoning law?
Yeah, my bad there. The town has been in the process for the last several months to respond to a state letter that said the town was what's the right word? We're not in full compliance with the MBTA zoning. We were given a hard deadline to become compliant by making some changes to the zoning requirement. There have been multiple meetings on this at town level, town council level, planning board level. There has been a recommendation to address the 2 issues that the state identified. Those issues were sent for advertising at the last town council meeting. The town council votes on whether to accept those amendments and for the town to become fully compliant with the MBTA, or to deny those and potentially not be in compliant or be conditionally compliant.
So it's not a project that's before them. I see.
Oh, it's no project. It's just a zoning thing.
I see. Yeah. Thank you.
No, it's been a hot topic in town for a year, 2 years. So, but the state is being very not aggressive, but they want us to comply with the zoning. We need to comply with the zoning. If we don't comply with the zoning, there is a high potential that we won't be allowed to apply for grants. I
understand all that. I thought we were in compliance. I thought we had agreed to this a year ago or so.
No, it's just conditionally compliant. Well, we had done everything, and then the state reviewed everything in depth, and they came back with a letter saying you need to fix these 2 pieces.
I see.
Pat, thankfully we have Pat engaged. He understands this better than anybody, I think, in town. And the planning board has worked on it, and the CED committee of the town council's worked on it. The town council now has the final action before them Tuesday night.
I see. Okay.
Good.
Moving on.
Moving. Anything else on Stiles and Hart? That's, to me, that's one of our more important things to do. Mainly as a Parks and Rec thing, and also I just think it's for the betterment of the town. Okay, we did the
We'll go back to-
multifunctional fields, right?
We did that. So you're back at D1, Jenny Leonard, potential new projects in Jenny Leonard. And
Okay, that is no change. Pat, have you met with the town manager on that?
I have not, but the neighborhood came to the planning board for acceptance. We asked for this to be worked out before we recommend acceptance. Josh might be able to
Okay.
fill you in. I believe there was a meeting maybe today, or yesterday with the developer. Was there? Josh?
I don't know. Um, what which committee would that have been with?
So it's the old fields piece next to the Jenny Leonard Park. Attorney Castanetti is the proponent. I think Shane from planning said that they were meeting with Attorney Castanetti this week.
Okay, yeah, I don't for the CD with their meetings, I don't have very much information on that. But if you would like, I can reach out to Shane just for confirmation.
Yeah, just I can, you don't have to. I know that, just to give you an update, I know they're working on accepting that land finally. I think Justin's working on it. And we've held off accepting the street or recommending acceptance of the street until that's resolved. So it's kind of brought it to a head where we either accept it or we don't, and then it's off the table.
David had his hand up.
Yeah, has anybody discussed police access to Jenny Leonard Park for surveillance?
Well, have you seen the new parking lot and the trail and everything?
No, I haven't, but I the last plans I saw, there was no access off of what was it, Walnut Street?
Right, but
Cherry Street.
there's been a parking lot and a trailhead created off of Oldfield. So, and there's
Yeah.
nothing, there's no structures in there now. The structures have all been cleared out. So
Right.
it's basically just woods now with a path.
Right. Okay, well, that was one of the reasons the park failed, is that the police could not get in there just to surveil it, to just pull up, shine a light into it, see who's in there, and so forth. I talked to the police department a couple times about this, and they said they really need access to be able to pull in, take a look, and pull out without getting out of the cruiser. Just shine a light around, and it would also be very helpful for an ambulance access if somebody was hurt. So,
David, how
you
does
know.
that differ from, say, Titicum or even Great River? You
Styles and
can't,
Hart.
there's so many trails in the woods that they can't look. They can shine a light down the
Right.
driveway, but that's
Right,
it.
but this is so close to the street, it would be very easy to do. That was one of the major
Okay.
failures of Rainbow's End. When they put Rainbow's End in, they cleared all of the low brush so that the police could see. Just throw the light around there, and they could see if there was anybody in the park. And eventually, the brush grew up. The neighbors, the committee never took care of it, and the park failed. It became a hangout for bad people. And this also happened at Jenny Leonard Park. So I just recommend that that's something that it could be done very easy. I know there's a big grade difference at Jenny Leonard Park. It sits up on a hill, but if there was a place where the cruiser could pull in, shine a light, turn around, and come out, and also let an ambulance go in should there be need, but not an access for people to be able to pull in from coming in from other places in town. It should be clearly labeled emergency access only.
You know, and I think that's probably phase two. We have to get this land before we can really design anything.
Okay.
So, but
all
that,
right.
I think the only thing we're focused on right now is to try to accept the parking lot and the assemblage to it.
Okay.
And then I think phase two will be redesigning it and figuring out different access points and how it's designed if we decide to do that.
One of the Warrens, his parent, it wasn't Ricky, Brian, maybe. David, you might know his name. He had come to a Parks and Rec meeting, last spring, and was asking about it. And he said, if you're going towards Oldfield from Walnut Street, so you're on Cherry Street, just past the park, there used to be 3 or 4 parking spaces, but they're completely overgrown. I don't know what the grade is going up to it, but according to him, there was a little parking area there.
Yeah. Well, as Pat said, I think it's something that should seriously be concerned in the future for the layout of the park.
Yeah, and there's been a
Right.
major change in that part of the world because that used to be land that was pretty much not used. Now there are dozens of houses there, roads, and this parking lot that the planning board worked to have for access to A, Jenny and Leonard, and B, to if the town accepts the street and this thing that we're talking about now, that access that 8 acres. So like Pat said, let's get this thing accepted and then we can work out what we want to really do with that. But there is,
I agree.
The environment is changed because of all the housing there. Before there weren't a lot of houses there.
Well, it was a very active neighborhood park back before all the houses were there. But as Pat says, let's get the land and then we'll deal with the layout.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that's where that stands. Josh, if you have any meetings, please keep us informed. Basketball court, Scotland Field. Jim Small, Parks and Rec superintendent, when he had the Legion Field courts paved, he had asked about Scotland Field. And I think I said this at the last meeting, that said because it was in such disrepair, it would have to be dug up completely. He was, last time Parks and Rec met, he told us that he was going to look into other companies to see if they can just repair it without pulling the whole thing out. So that's kind of on hold too. Carlton, anything on, or Sam McQuinn pump or pictures for the fire department?
No, I don't think there's anything other than the last time they had, I think I had mentioned last meeting that fire department had talked with the restoration company and having pictures was probably going to be sufficient to get a quote. And they're pretty much very busy with getting the fire station up and running. I believe the chief and his staff, et cetera, may be soon or have already moved out to the new fire station. Manning the station with trucks and everything else is down the road, but that's what I understand. So really no update.
Thank you. Playground accessibility, we're still waiting for the Disabilities Commission to bring forth our eligibility form. So that's still pending.
I'm going to add one piece to this. I've been in communication with the director out at the senior center, and she is very interested in getting a trail around the town property there so that the seniors can use it to walk. And she has some good ideas, like little workout stations there. So, you see in other towns. So I did provide her with a concept of where we could put a trail and left it in her hands, if she wants to pursue it further. It's a little different than what we had seen back a couple years ago when the senior center was applying for lots of things. But the new director would really like to see if we can get this done. That's going to require some engineering, for that kind of thing. But that's a piece, that's something down the road if they ever send us an eligibility form application. Thank you.
One thing to add to that, Carlton, that myself and a few members of my walking group had approached the former senior center director about basically the same thing. We took a field trip at her advice to, I think it was Duxbury, because they have that exact same type of trail. We did have, at the time, we did have Larry Silver come down, just a pro gratis, just to look at it close to the brook and all that. So we do have information on that. Maybe we won't need engineering for it. It's something we can follow up with.
I think there's a concept thing, and then the next thing is an engineering. Like they did with the old state farm trails, they had to have an engineer come in and really lay everything out. So
okay, good.
We can work, I'm just bringing it up as a potential. That's all.
Right. Good. Application template, as Carlton mentioned, the application for the text boxes, you can type and type and type, and it shows when you're typing. But if you go back to look at it, you just have to scroll back and forth, back and forth. So that definitely, at least fixing the one we have should be a priority.
Well, I thought we were at the point of having Josh get you some template types from other towns, and we would get the committee here to work on it.
Okay, no, I was getting up for Josh. So I still have to do that. I've looked up some. The ones I've looked at, some are good, some aren't. So I have to work on that.
Well,
One thing.
I'm going to indicate this has gotten really urgent based on what the Town River Landing application. It is, we have to fix this. It's not fair.
Right. But just to be clear, that's why that's not why the full reason why we're not discussing that tonight.
Right.
I think you explained it good when you talked about it when I was on the phone. One thing that got left off of the agenda, I don't see it looking, is the cemetery's assessment. I don't see it, but I'll just give an update for that. The information of our motion for the assessment has been sent to the town manager to put on our town council agenda, and it should be on for a first reading on the 16th, December 16th. I don't know how we missed that on here. Calvin, I know you talked about the freeze. Did you talk about the townhouse?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You're muted.
We talked about the townhouse. Yes.
He
Carlton,
did. Okay.
Carlton
I think
present.
that was probably when I was trying to figure out my technology. Okay. Any new business?
I have none.
Carlton?
I have no new business.
Okay, thank you. I don't either. Liaison reports. Who do we have? I've kind of said about Parks and Rec, and we have no real updates because we didn't meet this month for lack of a quorum. David, anything for the historical commission?
No, the Historical Commission has been dealing a lot with the gravestone that we were given. We've had a number of discussions about it, and we're trying to locate it, a good place to put it. We found a similar name in identical name in the South Street Cemetery, but we can't find anything in town records that indicate that this little girl, only less than 2 years old, was buried there. So we've been doing a lot of discussion on that. And then we're also continuing to discuss the placement of the plaque at Camp Titicut. We'll be talking about that next week also.
Hey, where did you find the grave?
Well,
Can I just ask?
I was
Where you
given
found
the
the gravestone?
gravestone. I ran into a lady at the senior center, and she says, "I've got something to give you." So I said, it was Mrs. Bezanson, Alita Bezanson from Summer Street. And she was given it by the people who built the house or rebuilt the house on the corner of Leonard Street and Summer. Did a beautiful colonial restoration.
That was
But they
Pat,
found this
wasn't it, Pat?
gravestone. Yeah, Pat was involved. So Mrs. Bezanson came up with a stone, and I said, "Sure, let's see what you got." Well, this little old lady, well, I shouldn't say that. This small elderly woman had lugged this gravestone into the back of her car, and I went out to her car and got it. It's beautiful slate stone, probably, I think it's dated 1822, of a little girl. There is a similar family name, but I can't connect them to a grave on South Street at the South Street Cemetery. And we're trying to find a home for the stone. It's in beautiful condition. It looks like it was never set on a grave site, but we have no record of this little girl ever passing in Bridgewater. So it's been kind of a mystery, and we've been kicking it around at the meetings and asking people to do some research and see what they come up with. But it's been an interesting mystery. So we're working on that, plus the plaque for the we're going to be coming to Parks and Rec soon for the plaque at the site of the State Foundry at Titicut. That was designated in 1776, but it didn't open until 1777. So we've got a lot of history on that. So we'll be coming to Parks and Rec for a possible location, and then possibly coming back to the CPC to seek some funding to pay for the plaque. I've got a couple people who will lug a big stone down there and stick it on the stone, but we've got to get permission from the appropriate authorities before we go forward with it.
I'm sure you've used the website Find a Grave, and it wasn't successful, obviously. If you can't, that would be the first place I would go to. But
Janet Hansen's done a lot of digging, and we just can't seem to find a site for this little girl.
Is it possible she wasn't even from Bridgewater?
It's possible, but then where do we go? I mean, then we're dealing with the state archives in 1822. So it's a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Good luck with
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Pat, anything for the planning board?
I think we talked about everything. So, I mean, just we're working on that Jenny. Well, we're working on street acceptance and trying to get the Jenny Leonard Park resolved. So,
Okay, can I just ask how, when they came before the planning board for acceptance, are they still for donating it? I know it's part of the original.
The developer and the representative, Attorney Castanetti, is trying to work with the town to get that transferred. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Carrie, you're up.
Um, conservation is slowed right down. I got a call from the vice chair, and tomorrow night's meeting is going to be real short, so there's not much going on right at the moment.
Let's see, Bill.
Yes, we did not have a meeting in November, so I don't really have anything to report.
Okay. Maureen, open space.
Hello. We
Hi.
actually met this afternoon, in person. And we met with, the town manager. So we could all meet him and he could meet us and talked about, issues and, uh, in a general way and for all of us to meet too, because I had never met, we have somebody new on the board and I hadn't met him yet. So it was just catching up with what may need to be done in the future. So nothing beyond that.
Great, thank you. Did I get everybody?
Maureen, I did see that the request, the grant you guys got, the request for somebody to come in and help do the open space committees out on the street. So
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
I
We did
just
get-
happened to see something. So it's good
Yes,
news.
he did say that to us. Yes, that had come through and that'll be something they'll start working on. Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay. David, you have your hand raised?
Yeah. One other small thing. I tried entering it in a chat. A number of years ago, I had talked with Jay Leach and his wife about the records that belonged to her father, who was the holder of the records of the Bridgewater Grange, which accepted all of the records from the Plymouth County Agricultural Society. They are currently in Jay's son's house on was it Old Farm? I'm not sure, but right off of South Street. And I've talked with Arthur about it, and he has said, well, my mom wants to take a look at him, but I will get a hold of him in the next week or so. I know Jay recently passed away, and see if I can get access to those records, because it's very possible that when the property was transferred to the Grange, the site that we're concerned about was the old exhibition hall, and that exhibition hall was not transferred to the Grange. It was kept separate. So there may be a plan or documentation with some survey data on that, which would be very helpful to whoever is hired to do the survey.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it for liaison. I think I got everybody for liaison reports. If I didn't, jump in. Upcoming events, don't have any. I know of any. Public comment. There are a couple public here. Janet.
I think I'm the only one still. I don't
Riley's
have,
still here.
Janet Hanson, Pleasant Street. I don't have any comments. I was interested in the project updates and you kind of went through everything. So, interesting meeting, and I had told Carlton, about the typo on Hanson's. It's not Hanson's Farm, it's Hanson Farm.
Yeah.
Just, okay. That was it. I thank you for everything.
Thank you for coming to the meetings. I appreciate it. And thank you for your patience while I struggled technologically. Okay. Any other public comment? Okay, hearing none. Our next meeting date is January 28th in 2026 already. Wow. Um, we're still talking about whether to meet hybrid or in person, hybrid or Zoom, but we'll keep you posted on
You know,
that.
I moved that it be an in-person meeting.
I second that.
Okay, do we have a second for that?
I second that.
You guys don't have to vote to have an in-person meeting. I can take a poll to see if everybody's okay with it. Well, we can also schedule it as in person and we can keep an eye on, in case of inclement weather or something, we could always switch it to virtual if you guys would like. So we can be flexible on that. But what I would recommend right now is if you guys would like to do it in person and everybody or the majority of you can make it in person, I can put in for the room right now, and that way you guys have that reservation.
That's exactly why I made the motion.
Okay, yeah, no need to make a
So-
motion. You guys are good.
That-
You just tell me.
that's-
I'll get things done for you.
Okay, you're wonderful, Josh. The
So I'm sorry, what was the date on that?
January 28th.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in right now for you guys. 6:30, 201A.
So I
Yep.
will withdraw my motion.
Okay, now, Josh, if we wanted hybrid, and does it still stand that to be hybrid, you have to have the majority of the committee in person?
We would like that, just because, like I said, we have to unlock the building and everything, and we'd hate to unlock the building for one person that shows up.
Okay.
But I'll be able to staff the meeting and everything, so we could do hybrid. That's not a problem.
Okay, great, thank you. Can you start hybrid meetings from home? So I hate
Yes.
to
Yep.
have you have to come back.
Yeah, and that's what I would probably end up doing. Is I would start the meeting, just like this. Normally, we'd have a few people in the room, and might have a few people on Zoom, and we'll leave it open to the public to come to either one if you guys are okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good
Great.
with it.
I think having both options is really good. We'll have more participants that way.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you.
Yeah, because I'm not driving at night anymore.
Okay,
Good point.
okay, and we want you included, Harry. We want.
Yep. So we'll plan for a hybrid, and then we'll just keep an eye out for the weather, and we could always change it a couple days before
Right.
if necessary.
Okay. Great, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Before I call for adjournment, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever other holiday or however else you celebrate. I hope everybody's safe all winter, and best wishes to all. And thank you for
too.
being
Thank
being
you,
here
Gina.
tonight.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Gina.
Motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
Did somebody motion?
I did. Motion
Okay,
to
do we
adjourn.
have a second?
I'll second it.
Wow, everybody wants to second. Everybody is always into adjourns. Discussion? Never any discussion on that either. Josh, roll call, please.
Gina,
Yes.
Carlton,
Yes.
Harry muted.
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned at 8:05. Thank you very much, everybody.
Have a
Have a
good
good evening.
holiday.